So today we're going to brainstorm together. For those of you who haven't seen it, I have a first draft of what we're currently calling the Free World Trust, or maybe the People's Trust, this collective that we all are, um, and some statements of who we are. I don't know what you would call those. Somebody knows better than I. So if you want to go to my Substack on the Free World Trust post, on there is the initial draft that we'll be kind of working from. I'm going to talk about a few things first, but you can pull that up. I'll read it, though you don't have to, and I'm going to read a few other things to inspire us. But so it's sort of like a brainstorm session. Hi, Matt. Hi, DEO. And I realized that it's sort of like a fellowship meeting. It's like in the Lord of the Rings, right? When they all get together and they're going to go on the journey, um, and they are sort of realizing their different roles and um, coming up with a plan. And I'm just your resident hobbit, and I'll hold the ring for us as we all, you know, let's say we're not walking to Mordor, we're not fighting anybody, but we are the team that potentially can take down the empire, can be the representatives, let's say. Representatives. Let's say that. I like that. Representatives of the free world, of a new collective of folks who stand with natural law, stand with freedom, stand with fulfillment, because we know that fulfillment is natural law. That this is the collective, this is the fellowship or ladyship. we need a gender neutral word for that. But that made me happy to think of that today. So y'all are, just by showing up, part of the fellowship. So what we're going to talk about is the creation of this, what will right now be basically just a new Substack page. And it is what's going to be the holding space. What would eventually be a completely new network, a complete gift economy, let's say economy, a sharing space for free services and eventually goods. But for right now, a new Substack page that Krista and I are going to build here over the weekend or soon. It's happening. And what it is I'm going to be part of the ladyship. Oh, good. Hi, Christina. Hi, Joanne. So I will. So I want to talk about kind of how I got here and what I think, how I want to describe what this is. So I, like many of us, realized a long time ago, and in many ways for me, since I was a kid, I was like, what is wrong with this world? This is so crazy. What is with the job thing and money, and all of it just seems so crazy to me. I really, really wanted to skip having to get money and a job. I just thought that was so silly. School too, although I had some fun at school, but now I'm really down on school. All the systems, they're totally insane, as we're starting to wake up to. And those of us here are awake too. But I had the insight of, like, what we need is a space to just be free and to share our gifts and create a gift economy, but we can't seem to do it. We can't do it with our current systems. And I had exhausted my exploration in psychology, my exploration in spirituality and non-duality. It was like there wasn't anybody there in any of these fields who wanted to give away the farm, as I call it. There was always money. There was either a nonprofit or money for therapy or whatever, versus these are just truths, healing truths, truths about who we are that should be free. So, like I would say, like, I don't want a business and I don't want a nonprofit. I want to share with my friends the gifts and services that we love to do, right? I love to have real conversations about people with my friends. That was the job I always wanted as a kid. And so now I have that job, but I want to give it all away for free. So that's what I'm doing on the Natural Healing Radio Hour. And then the thought is, that's just my contribution. And then Miriam has a contribution, Claudia has a contribution. We all have, everybody has a contribution to the public pool of goods and services. And what we would do were we to be totally free, right? This is what I do as a free person, meaning like my work and play is the same. And that's what we all want. We all want that, right? Um, and so it was like, okay, here's a gift, here's my contribution to a gift economy. And then having to keep one foot in the world of empire. I'll just call it empire today. Um, I have my own business where you can see me privately for a fee. So that's my contribution. And then people can build on that. And then the thought was, this is where we've gotten to is a new PBS, right? A public broadcasting station and network. We're starting with Substack, in which we have channels for healing, for agriculture, for natural building, for whatever, for education, for all of the things of this world, but done from natural law, done from joy, given away. So then it was like, okay, well, where do we create this broadcast station? Let's keep building on Substack. But then it was like, in the end, this is because all the systems of empire are tied together. All the systems of a new world need to be tied together as well. So it's not just a broadcast of these services. It's a collective of people who want to live in the free world, who've seen through the matrix, who've seen through our delusions, the insanity of the separation story, which is what we're healing in each other, right? But we get to this point of awake and healed enough, right? Open enough. Our inner eye is open to see, like, this is insanity. And over here, when I'm in my body, I move toward fulfillment. Natural law is a gift economy. Natural law is everybody sharing. It's abundant. It's fulfillment for all. And there's so many of us now who are in this new pool, right, where we are awake enough. And it's not that we're special. It's not that we're awake, either like some awakened, enlightened. It's like, no, it's just it's just seeing that the story of scarcity, of separation, of hierarchy, of binaries, all of that is nothing more than a story. It's a energetic harvesting story that keeps us enslaved. It's a mental enslavement, nothing more. An energetic enslavement. It's not. We can break the chains just like this. And that's what I do, right? And yesterday we talked a lot about those common beliefs. But so those of us, it's a much bigger thing. It's a collective that wants to live in the free world and not just share online, but share in reality. Of course, that's what it is, and that's what we all want, really. Underneath all of our conditioning, that's what we all want. So then it was like, okay, it's not just new PBS; it's a collective. And I've had the insight recently, and you all have shared with me the same, where it's like, what we really need to do is just like stake our claim. It's like, we're going to do this, right? This is the free world. This is what we want. We, the people, stand together, and not just as a nation, but as a world of free people. And so then it's like, it's a larger collective, and it's a larger, what we're now calling a trust, right? It's a collection of people who abide by and know in our bones natural law. So if you want to pull up this initial document again, that's on my Substack page under the Free World Trust post. We're gonna create this document together, and then the idea is, for now, so it's not just a network; it's a collective, it's a trust, it's a one-stop shop for we the free, for we who are going to share from a gift economy, from we who are awake to reality and are living from oneness, living from fulfillment, living from natural law, living from our bodies, honoring natural law, which is matriarchy, and several other things. And so what I want is for us to work on this document together. So Krista and I are going to make it a Substack page for now, right, where the main Substack is, or the sort of pinned post is this declaration. It's like a declaration of freedom and a statement of what this public trust is, this people's trust is. And then inside of this new Substack is also this new PBS, which are channels, which are posts that are like the healing post, right? And inside of there is a link to my Substack where I'm giving away healing tools, to Miriam's Substack where she's giving away functional nutrition stuff, and still link to work with her privately for money. But this becomes this collection of people who are giving away all or a large portion of their tools, and that we're just doing the gift economy. And then subscribing to that Substack page would be your signature of like, yep, this is my my vote for this collective to be a part of the People's Trust. Um, and and we have a Christopher and I are going to work this out too. Like we have a common email account. We have a common bank account where there's maybe an inner council that um, has the passwords and all that stuff and can sign in. But it's ours, right? It's our collective, our trust, our public trust. Bill has been super helpful in sharing. He's going to get the document. It's been hard to find because these ideas are directly opposed to empire, which means we're onto something. It means we're hot on the trail of reality. But I want to say her name out loud. What was her name? Heather. Oh shoot, I don't know if I lost it. Um, Heather Tucci, Heather Lynn Tucci, or something like that. I'm sorry, but she created what she called the One People's Trust, and it's this beautiful document, and he's going to get it for us, but might have to translate it from Spanish and get Claudia's help, or just run it through AI. But she basically proved and showed legally how all corporations worldwide are fraudulent, and has got some heat at least for that. But that was several years ago now, and my view is, and literally I sort of see it. I see it as like, but we're in this totally different place now, where the exposure of the rotten core of all of empire has been shown. It's so obvious now, especially in the States where we still had this sort of story of democracy, and that it's the time for it. It's like, I don't know anybody who isn't ready to sign to say, yes, I want a free world. I'm good with a moneyless society. I'm good with breaking these chains. Like, who needs any of this? And I want to read this beautiful post from um, Orion Unveiled that Claudia posted today that really describes it. So that's what we're here to do. We're going to brainstorm this, what temporarily would be a Substack page, in my view, working with my tech guys and the seeing eye nerds of the world, is it would move over to another network. But what I want to do, and what I posted, and I'll read it, is actually challenge Substack. Like, are you going to be the free network? Are you going to be our hero of the free world and let Substack itself be the new PBS, where it's free, and not, the tentacles of empire, which are already starting to come into Substack, are not allowed in? Or are we going to have to jump ship and create our own network? That's the question, right? Because they've all been so corrupted, and money just corrupts. So that's what we're here to do today, is brainstorm this larger collective trust idea, the statements of it. And I know all of you have something to offer there, whether it's just like, yep, I'm in, here's my signature, or it's a skill, legal one, or that you want to be part of the new PBS, where you have something to share that you would want to give away. So that's the idea. How does that sound to y'all? Welcome, L. Johnson and Donna and John and Kukana. So we're gonna play. So we all still are healing. I have both a beef with the word healing and the word healed, which I shared. The word healing sort of implies that it's this never-ending thing, and that's a trap. That's actually a storyline that people get trapped in all the time. And also, like, spiritual development. These are horrific, horrific traps of separation, of empire, of 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 this storyline of there's something missing in me, I need help, there's something wrong with me, there's a constant evolution and ascension, whatever. Trap, 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 trap. Um, Rather, the way I think of it is like healed enough, awake enough to see through the veils, to see through the stories, to see what you really want, which is freedom and fulfillment, which is like a bone wanting inside of every body, inside of all of nature. And so, so I'm not asking everybody to be like super healed. Nobody, there's no specialness here. It's just, can we agree this is what we actually want underneath it all? And that there's this moment of reckoning going on right now where it's like we have to choose. Um, which I'll read from this Orion post. Um, so it's an invitation, right? That can you see with us? And we're not going for perfection. We're not going for um, we're not going for some specialness or anything like that. So we're going to just play as if we were looking outside. It's like when we state this collective's, it's not beliefs, right? It's a statement of what is. It's a statement of what's true. It's a statement of natural law, and a statement of how then we want to live and how we are going to live according to natural law. So this is not, I was playing with the word church or the one cult to rule them all, and that's really just being cheeky. But the reason it's not a church or a cult is because there's no belief here. It's like we're just saying like, blue is blue. And this is what humans want. This is what we want, and this is what we're building. And it's just true. And so the only requirement to be part of this collective is it resonates. It's like, yeah, that's true. Um, And so that's what it'll be. It'll just be a post that's like, here's our declaration, here's our declaration of freedom, here's our collective trust, natural law statements. And then you, as pure awareness, as a being, from clarity, read it and it rings an inner bell. If it doesn't ring an inner bell, no problem. No problem. We're not here. We're not in alignment yet. Um, but my view in 30 years of doing, in psychology and in tons of spiritual and awakening practices and walking many, many people into their fulfillment, um, I I see that this is what we want underneath it all. That we have this shared desire for obviously a free, playful world. So the gist is, the feel is fun, fulfilling, joyful. Like that's how we're meant to live, and that's all we're doing. It's nothing philosophical. It's nothing. There's no belief system. There's no sacrifice required. There's none of that would be in these old models of collective folks. But I like the one cult to rule them all because it's a community in which everyone is welcome as long as they recognize that this is what's true. If they still want to play an empire, they can. But in my view, it's like it's just a matter of time till everyone wakes up. And so we are providing this invitation, this space to, when you see through the veils, when you see through the matrix, when you see through your scarcity and separation stories, come hang out with us, right? We're the as Jeremy says, right? The network that throws the biggest party, the best party, is the one that wins. And we know the current networks out there, the current systems out there, are not throwing fun parties at all. In fact, they are so boring and so tired and so awful and wretched. So we're just throwing a better party is really it. Um, so I'm going to read this Orion thing, but let's see what y'all have to say. Kukana, what a beautiful name. Miriam says, sounds great. Hi, Nita. Fabulous overview of Free World Trust. Okay, good. Good. I have these notes and I go off script immediately. I'm like, okay, I hope we get there. Music noter. Orion Unveiled, you joined. Incredible. I'm just about to read your post. Thank you. Thank you for inviting them. I just am completely in alignment with you. And this is the invitation to create what you described, which is like, we, the people who want to be free, option 2, are here to brainstorm what we want to say. Miriam says, I keep telling my friend that about his healing journey, just live. Yeah. Yeah, there's this trap of like, keep healing. And, there's such but it's just the monetary thing, right? It's like, we need people to believe, like, people who are selling healing need you to keep healing. People who are selling spirituality need you to keep believing there's a middleman between you and God. And it all goes back to money. It all goes back to we gotta sell in order to live in this world. That's the insanity. And to me, coming from healing, coming from always wanting to give it all away for free and not like, it's like, okay, sure, I have a business. Now can we get to the part where we give it away? And that discludes a nonprofit. I never wanted a nonprofit because I don't want to be a government entity. I want nothing to do with those systems. So yeah, exactly. But so that's where I started. It's like, let's give the healing and spiritual stuff away for free. And then when we're healed and we realize we're God, what do we want with these old systems? It seems crazy. It's like, well, I'll just talk to my friend and we'll trade. We'll just gift each other. We'll share our food, our homes, our wisdom together. Right? It's a no brainer. Um, Glad to be here. The field is bending. Yeah, the field is bending. Oh, yes, yes. This beautiful field. There is an enormous bend. Yes. I see it as like the waters of energy, the waters of attention, and I can feel how this field, I'm gonna cry, is bending time. It's like bending the waters. And so many people on Substack we're just bending it. It's awesome. Awesome. Hi, Amanda. Yes, economics are the hardest part. Yeah, exactly. It's the core. I think money and time, I think of it as the same delusion, is where we get caught. And we have to see through that there's no such thing as money and there's no such thing as time. Time is a spell and money is a spell. And so here we've just broken the spell. We're like, nope, there's no such thing in our world. And yes, sure, we'll have a bank account, I guess, if we need one. But we don't need one. It's all temporary. I have a temporary business in order to just live long enough to create this with y'all, to have the fellowship, create this people's trust. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you all are here. Okay, I'm Ryan. I'm going to read your post. I'm sorry I don't have the title of it. Remind me of the title. So here it's I don't remember the title. You'll write the title, but they say, everywhere I look. So this is you're speaking my language. It's just literally these are my words. Everywhere I look, I hear two competing stories about what the world is and what it should be. They are both speaking louder now, but only one of them holds a future worth living in. Let's name them. Reality 1, the empire illusion. In this reality, we stay divided over marginal differences. Democrat versus Republican, gay versus straight, trans versus cis, religious versus spiritual, man versus woman. We extract from the earth until there's nothing left to take. Winners climb over corpses for status, while the rest fight over scraps. The government exists to protect the top 1% and police the rest. Labor is disposable. Humans are replaceable. Machines are used to replace people instead of freeing them. Healthcare, housing, food, and water are sold as if survival should be earned. Rest is seen as laziness. Joy is suspicious. Whew, preach. Love is conditional. Life is fast, frantic, and forgettable. This reality doesn't exist because it's the best we can do. It exists because empire still owns the microphone. Yes, yes, yes. This is what I've been saying for so long. It's like it's just hand the microphones over. This is why I sort of target people like Zach Bush and Jordan Peterson, people from my domain. It's like if just one of them hands their microphone over, an empire person hands the microphone over, I think it's game over because there's no competition, so to speak. It's like this is a no-brainer, this free world where we actually have joy and we actually let ourselves rest and we live from fulfillment and we are free people. It's hands down the choice. But it's the microphones. I totally agree. They own the microphone and it's like, well, okay, we get rid of ownership. And in my view, it's like, I go, I go, "Give me your microphone." But they don't give up their microphone because 'cause they're scared to death, and which is the other invitation I'm, as a healer, always doing, which is, "Come, come, narcissist, come, lost boy, come. I will help you heal, I will help you see your God, you don't have to keep playing this game." And then you will maybe willingly hand over your microphones, but anyway, so agree. Okay, Orion says, "Reality 2, the dream we're remembering," which I love. Claudia talks about that, right? This, that we're remembering this. "In this reality, we celebrate every person for the weird, beautiful soul they are." Totally. I would just add genius. But yes, weird, beautiful soul. I love that. "We don't compete to survive, we collaborate so no one has to. Armed conflict ends, not because everyone agrees, but because everyone is safe. Basic needs are human rights, no exceptions. Machines serve humanity so we can slow down, breathe, and be present. Labor becomes meaningful, done with pride, not panic. Society honors the caregiver, the farmer, the artist, the janitor. No one has to monetize their gifts just to eat. Success is measured by how many you lift with you." Totally, totally. That's natural law. To me, the joy. That's the natural movement of life. Is we uplift ourselves, we fulfill ourselves. There's nothing left to do but uplift others. There's a beautiful poem by Mark Smith called "Pull the Next One Up." We posted somewhere. And it says this, right? It's just that he says the only courage there is to pull the next one up and the next one up. That's like the last line of the poem. "Joy is sacred, rest is wise, creation is greater than consumption. We see each other, we remember, we belong." Beautiful. Then they say, "If we really get to choose, then I don't see how anyone who isn't already sitting on the mountaintop chooses reality one." Exactly. Exactly. That world only serves the 1%. And those still trying to become them, even if it means stepping on the rest of us, and those still trying to become them, even if it means stepping on the rest of us. Exactly. It's the 1% and those that are still in the delusion that they're going to get somewhere, that they're going to get anything by climbing tower, this Tower of Babel, this tower to nowhere, this ivory tower that just takes them off cliffs. No one in the top 1% is fulfilled. I'm 100% sure of that. They are miserable people. They're in a worse hell than we are. And then they say, "But reality too? That's not fantasy. It's memory. It's blueprint. It's invitation. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's time. Let's try dream two. Let's live it into being. One choice, one breath, one brave, weird, beautiful human at a time." Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to say that again. Let's live it into being. Yes. Yes. We just live it into being. And here it is. And actually, here it is, right? It's here now. Here we are. It's not, as Bill said, it's this so doable. This is so simple. Natural law, reality, right? We can just think of it as delusion and illusion, which is scarcity, which is separation, which is binaries, which is hierarchies. That's delusion. It has nothing to do with reality. It's overcomplicated. It's insane. Reality, nature, God, same, is so simple. It's so simple and so doable. One choice at a time, one uh, natural natural move and step at a time. So beautiful. Thank you. Um, Hi, Amanda. Yeah, Amanda, we're so tangled in the structures of thinking with modernity. Yes. See me here engaging our light and water brilliance, increasing capacity with self-healing with earth. Yes. And bending time. thefallingletter.substack.com. Okay, great. Thank you for the new link. Hi, Sammy. Randolph says, "I will repost the Mark Smith poem on the chat thread for quotes and one-liners." Okay, great. I love it. Thank you for feeling openly and bringing wisdom forward. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a crier. Hi, Darnell. Okay, so yeah, what Orion posted, and again, that's Orion Unveiled who's here. Such a beautiful invitation. And, it just strikes me, it's like, again, this is a no-brainer. It's like everybody actually wants this under our delusion, under our conditioning. We heal enough, and it's like, yeah, of course, of course. We aren't getting distracted by the illusory goal. Um, and the power is in our numbers, is in just affirming it, right? It's like, yep, I'm here. I'm with you. I see it with you. And I'm taking this one choice, one step at a time. And so I see this people's trust, this for a Substack page for now is just a place to gather. It's our collective spot. And we subscribe, we don't have to pay to subscribe, but our subscription is our signature, is our affirmation of these statements. And I think I'd love to, maybe blend a lot of what Orion wrote with my first draft of this people's trust statement. So I want to read this Declaration of Freedom that I posted on my notes. I didn't post it anywhere else. And then the People's Trust, what I have called the Free World Trust, a collective in service to Nova Gaia. I'm now adjusted it to the People's Trust, a collective in service to Nova Gaia, but it could be in service of the free world, a free world, the free world, maybe because it's like we're claiming it. So I'm open to all of it, all of it being, this is just a brainstorm session, right? This is a first draft and we're all writing it. The fellowship writes it. So if you're up for it, I'm just going to read what I have currently for both the declaration and the statement of the People's Trust. Let's collaborate for sure. Okay, great. I can just see it. I can just see how your words and these are just going to go together. It's like, it's going to be great. Okay. And so we'll chat over DM, and everybody, feel free, like just DM me when I post this recording. We can also talk in the comments there, like we were doing in the Free World Trust, where you'll see Bill's reference to Heather and other things. But we can start to work together on the draft in this post for the time being, and then I'll transfer it to our collective Substack page when that's built. But if you have thoughts, if you don't want to be public about it, or if you want to contribute in a deeper way, not deeper way, but another way, feel free to DM me. Anybody? Okay, so here's the current Declaration of Freedom. We, the people of Nova Gaia, announce the creation of a free world, a world without money or borders. And then I just put, that's it. That's the declaration. And I put, we need on-ground protection and an open source network. Our questions: number 1, Substack. I tagged Substack. Are you our network? Number 2, military and police forces. Are you our protection? I couldn't think of other things that we need. It's like those are the fundamental things. If you have the free network, then here we are sharing. Here's the gift economy. And then what in the world, how can Empire compete with that? And then on ground, right, in the 3D world, military and police forces, the current folks with guns, do they want to protect the free world, or do they want to protect the 1%? And it's an open question. And then they vote, right? They cast their vote. Who are you with? Because I'm so with you, Orion, and so many people have said this, right? People who sort of see the spiritual realm, I don't even call it spiritual, but just see the energies, let's say, of what's happening. That we are like now in the moment of reckoning. It's like you got to choose. You got to make your choice. And so that's the declaration. But I'm open to. Are there other questions we have? Are there more things to declare? You tell me. Okay, I'm going to read the People's Trust. Let me just see what you said. Land, food, heaters. Yeah, yep. We need all of that. My thought is, if it's free, if it's a free world, then the land is free, the food is free, the electricity is free. Like it's all, we just announced, like it's free now. And then the only thing we need, right? Like we're now in a gift economy. So I go back and forth between like talking about the steps to get there, right? Which is like we buy land and we do like, yes, likely we need to do some steps. And I want to sort of skip to the end together to just go, here's the free world. Like here we're in it. Look outside and imagine there's no fences, there's no private property, there's no ownership. That's all the story of separation. And so then what all we really need in this new world, the free world, is is what you wrote, which is like we just need safety. We just need to know we're safe. And the people who can currently make us safe are the ones with the actual guns. The 1%ers don't have the actual guns, right? They just hire them out. They have a story of money that keeps the military and police hostage. And they have to survive. They have a job to survive. But if they turned around and said, "Oh no, we'll protect the people from the 1%," then we're just sharing, right? It's a gift economy in which we're sharing land, we're sharing food, we're sharing everything. There's no ownership. So that's where I'm going with that. But if I'm so I am like I go back and forth. It's like I want to skip to the end to just have everybody visualize it. It's like this is like it's almost like we ring the bells. And it's like here's the free world. Okay, we're in it and we're going to operate as if, but we're staking claim. We're saying it's the case. Then we share our food, right? And we grow our own food, and it's mutual aid. It's natural law. It's all sharing. There aren't any walls between us, like you said, like the divisions of gender or the divisions of race or the divisions of nations or the divisions of money, right? Because money isn't here anymore. But I want to think it through, and I'm open to how we do it. Healers. Land food healers. Oh, heaters, not healers. Okay, good. Healers. Excellent. Yes, we need healers, 100%. So yeah, do we talk about it like it's a stepwise thing, or do we talk about it like we're there? I keep thinking of it and seeing it as like we're there, and we just lay that out, and then we welcome people to come. And we've been saying it's like an ark versus the Titanic, like a regatta, like sovereign beings who are tying ourselves together and saying, yes, we're going to do a sharing economy. We will share our food. We will share our land. We're not playing the game of ownership anymore. Hi, James. Hi, Al. So this is the open question. Okay. But I just sort of skipped to the end. That's the Declaration of Freedom. Okay. Here's the People's Trust as it currently stands. The rough draft. Purpose: to create Nova Gaia, a free and fulfilling world according to natural law. Truths: all is one. Everything and everyone is God herself, nature itself. All beings are meant for fulfillment. One being's fulfillment serves all other beings' fulfillment. All life is complementary. Our bodies hold the wisdom of God, Goddess, Source, Nature. We know in our bones where and how we want to live. Society is naturally matriarchal, a decentralized heterarchy that centers women and children. Men/masculine people are meant to protect, honor, and serve women, feminine people. Women, feminine people then protect, honor, and serve all. It's just where the flow of energy goes, masculine to the feminine. Our commitment: to rebuild the world according to natural law via a redistribution of resources worldwide. Steps: 1. Reverse the current resource distribution until there is equal distribution. Claudia had a beautiful, because I've been trying to capture the idea I have, which is it's basically the last shall be first and the first shall be last, right? So the folks with the least resources get their cups filled first. But what it is like Claudia had this beautiful vision of like water going into ice cube trays, right? And the ones who are empty get filled first. But in the end, it is all equal. It's like we all end up with, what was it, $61,000 or something? So the billionaires lose their billions, but they have 61,000, which is basically just like seed money to have a gift economy where we can start to trade and maybe transition, right? So that we're all equal. All the boats rise. All the boats have liquid funds, let's say, and we have money. We play. It's like Monopoly money. We play with the money to then get ourselves situated to live where we wanna live, how we wanna live, with who we wanna live, where all of it. Um, and the ones who get their ice cube tray filled up first are the ones who have the least, because they're, in my view, the ones who are gonna rebuild the most, in the most fulfilling way. Um, so that's gonna be, those um, the poorest countries, the poorest people, the melanated folks, the women. These are gonna be their seed bank, right? They rise up first. Um, so that's the distribution. Number 2, once redistribution is established, we get rid of money altogether. Because who would need money in a free world? I don't see how it's necessary. I only see, because I know natural law is abundance, so it wouldn't even really be trade, because trade is an exchange and like a zero sum. It's a gift economy, which is really just sharing the endless abundance that comes from living in a free world. So those are the only 2 steps I see. But again, I'm totally open, and I don't, I can err on the side of being the naive hobbit. So and I so but that's a good thing too, because I can just be like, but here's where we're going. You know what I mean? I can walk to Mordor and I can be like, I have this innocent I don't know, just it's very like pure. It's very like, but the baseline, what we're actually talking about is this. And then I'll ask the gnomes and the elves to help us get there. But so this is the end game. Um, Membership. Anyone can be a member who agrees with our purpose and plan. We have a women's, or it doesn't have to be a women's, but a council of representatives, but primarily women from varied backgrounds, who oversee the redistribution. Maybe a women's council is essentially it. We have a men's council of representatives from varied backgrounds who physically protect the women and children in the redistribution process and beyond. So it's this idea of the inner circles, the ones who organize the redistribution, um, who build, who envision their local communities, their villages, are the women, and they're protected by the men. And then I put fun stuff. We hold celebrations and gatherings according to natural rhythms. So on the equinoxes, on the solstice, Beltane, etc. And we have a rotating cult leader of the month, which was Randolph's idea, to keep it cheeky. Um, And then I wrote, this collective could also be seen as the one network / union / church / bank / cult / group / community coalition to rule them all. A central assembly of sovereign people. This is all it is. A central assembly of sovereign people whose prime directive is fulfillment for all. That's the prime directive. That is the natural law that I am so sure about. I know it. I live it. I watch people live it. I study nature. And I think we all know this in our bones. That's what, if left, to be free, that's what happens. It's fulfillment for all. You can watch it in 2-year-olds. So it's really nature or life or God or goddess's prime directive. And we, the sovereign, we, the healed enough, we, the clear, we, the open, recognize that, acknowledge it and affirm it to each other, and then live it. James Randolph says library, but for tools and lists of handyman like me, available for those who, for whatever reason, can't use the tools for building and maintenance. Absolutely. I should incorporate my mission and vision, which is on my Substack and on my website, which is that exactly. It's these local villages that have as resource libraries, right? So the new PBS, which is the online People's Trust, has the resource library of wisdom, of information, right? Here's how to heal. Here's how to build a cob house. Here's how to do regenerative agriculture. Here's how to, make baskets. And here's the shared tools of every local or regional community. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And the matriarchs of the local communities, assign the men or men volunteer. I mean, we would various, it's like Randolph would choose me, I would choose Randolph to oversee, let's say, the creation of those resource libraries. Yeah, great. Because the men are more the action figures than the women. The women are more the visionaries. Hi, Chetta. Cult leader of the month has one function: bring snacks to the monthly celebrations. I like it. Exactly. Exactly. And I like monthly celebrations. I mean, it's just exactly monthly, weekly, aren't we having to me, I'm like having a dance party most days of the week, at least, probably two at least. Distributed networks of gardens. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. This is it. I mean, this is what really the stage we're in, right? Which is just envisioning it. It's like we map it. We say there's a local and regional resource library. There's distributed gardens. There's we've reforested and rewilded our, and we work with, this is why the gathering. It's like here's the People's Trust, which is also the new PBS, and then like all the indigenous folks in from the area you live in, they know what the native plants are. They work with you know us white people to rewild and to remember. As Orion says, remember what this wherever our blood wants to take us. You know, I think and I would call it like it's sort of like it's a great gathering and a collective, and then there's going to be a great migration, which is we go back, and this is being healed enough. We go back to where our bones and our blood wants to live. So I would imagine a lot of people my color would go back to Europe or all kinds of places. Um, so yeah, love it, love it. Distributed networks of gardens. Blue Goddess says this has already happened in higher dimensions. Tune into it already there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. And that's really what I think is happening. We're just channeling. We're all just channels of a higher or wider or deeper um, dimensional reality. And we're seeing it. We're the seers and the knowers of what is what life is already building. Like I don't think of this as these aren't my ideas. These aren't, it's just, we're just channels. And we look from each other's eye, which is the same eye. And we go, I see you, right? I read Orion's thing. I'm like, yes. I read Randolph's poem. Yes. Yes. We see each other and we're just holding the frequency for the channel of the higher dimensional reality to come down to earth. And we all have, those of us here, I think we all have guides and helpers to help us hold the frequency to channel it. So yeah, exactly. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, it's memory. Exactly. It's already there. Exactly. It's a memory. I'm new to that realization of like, oh, I'm just remembering what was and is. It's a because I see everything is happening in one moment. So it's just another dimension or another angle on this reality. And so when I say, I'm just like, I look out and I'm like looking at the landscape and I'm like, I see it free. I see no fences and I see us like traveling in hovercrafts and, with endless amounts of food and gardens and celebrations and it's like I see it. And it's just another angle on this, like, just another perspective, but it's the same eye and it's the same place because it's just one place, but from another angle, it's completely free. So yeah, yeah, memory, tune into, yeah, exactly. It's tuning. Exactly. It's like we're radios and we're tuning into a channel and it's literally a channel. It's like it's a channel. It's like, oh, we're in this channel now. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, claiming it. It's like, well, we're no, this is the free world. This is we live in the free world channel. You all might want the enslaved world, right? As Orion said, reality one, reality two. And, many people have seen it as a split. It's like 5D and 3D or whatever you want to call it, where there may be a completely other frequency channel where folks are living in enslavement world, in empire's world, but we, the free, are just over here. And it's like we don't, ne'er the twain shall meet, right? We're on different channels. So that's exactly my idea. It's like, we claim it. And then here we are on that channel together, on that frequency together. And we just build it. We just hang out. Um, and we're there. It's a memory. No need for each person, family having their own car. Exactly. Each neighborhood shares trucks, cars, scooters, ride sharing network. Exactly. Exactly. And then if we have free energy and free information, I mean, which we do, we have that, right? Then it's like, how fun for the dwarves to get together and convert the cars and trucks to, I don't know, whatever, hovercrafts, to free energy devices, to much more fun, machines than we have now. Not to mention we have AI, not to mention, like, we're there in the free world. We have free information and knowledge sharing. And then if we just didn't have to make money, we've got all the talent in the world. Like everybody, I really do see everybody as a genius, meaning one of one, brilliant beings who have their passion that just is waiting to come out of them. And oh my God, the level of creativity, the level of, I mean, it's cool stuff we couldn't even imagine, right? Like if the people I know, of the dwarves and the gnomes and whatever, were able to just do what they wanted to do. Oh my God, the beauty, the artistry, the creativity, the innovation, the technology, oh my God, it'd just be incredible. But yeah, exactly, right? Everything is shared. We're just sharing, and we have endless stuff to share, and each one of us is an endless fountain of wisdom and creativity, each one of us. So now we've got 8 billion creative people unleashed to have fun together and to build together, or whatever we have, right? um, it's not going to be 8 billion. But you know, it's going to be lots, lots and lots. So, hi, Tammy. Free university studies, scientists free to study anything want. Exactly, exactly. All the I mean, universities are so tired now, right? Where it's like the amount of money, the amount of like old information, like they're not caught up, Um, but exactly those who really love study, just the information is free, and those buildings are just open to the public, right? We're a lot of like the mansions. Where I live, there's it's a real mixed economy, but I can see the houses on the cliffs in the distance, and some of them are quite something. But some of these buildings would just turn into museums. They would turn into I don't know, party centrals or whatever. I don't know what they would be, but yeah, everything's just open, right? And then there would be those who would just love, like I can just imagine. I went to the University of Michigan. I can just imagine like gnomes who would love to care for the law library there, and would love to like live there and archive things and also modernize it, um and that everything's part of the public trust, and we hold dear things again. We also, oh my God, we would so build differently. We would build in a beautiful way. Imagine, Al, imagine being free to build however you wanted to build without these cheap materials that have to be cheap because you got to make money, because you got to keep up with the competitive market. Ugh, it just makes for ugliness. And imagine we would just get to reuse some of those materials and compost a lot of them, um, and build and create from the land, from our inbuilt creativity. Star Trek world. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I see it as like, exactly. I see. Have you guys ever? There's this aesthetic. I think they call it solar punk or something like that. And it's like I've seen it in AI, and it's like it's fully natural, right? Where there's like everything's growing, and there's towers and whatever, and sort of like cities, but it's just absolutely lush. Like nature is unleashed, and it's high tech, right? Where um, you've got Star Trek world. So that's absolutely it. It's like all the highest tech, and then the highest level of um, natural abundance of natural growth together. I think of it as like ancient Lemuria that was supposedly very lush and nature based, and then Atlantis, right? But without the without the delusions that Atlanteans had, and Lemurians, I guess, um, where the two are together in this really lush world. And so it is really a remembering, because this realm has been high tech before. It has been peaceful. It has been free. And so we're remembering our heritage. When we are in our Merkaba body, we just hop through portals, no vehicles. Yeah, totally. Totally. It's it's I'm because I'm a hobbit, like I'm gonna guess you're more of like an elf or a fairy. I I s- I I'm down for traveling in multi-dimensions, but I love the 3D. And this makes me a good representative for Earth, because I'm such a fan of Earth. I'm like, yes, in another life, I could live on another planet. It's like, but I love Earth. I'm an advocate for her. Like me and Gaia, we're together, and I love like my truck. I love, um, I love, eating my stew. You know what I mean? So I'm with you 100%. And I bless everybody who wants to travel through their Merkaba, and I'm gonna probably take my hovercraft truck, my Ford F-150. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I see it as all of it, all of it. But yes, thank you for that. Totally. And we, of course, can travel now, and that's how you see the other dimension, where it's all very real. Um, it's just not this is the 3D frequency. So I'm always like, and I love decor. I love the 3D. I love to work with my hands. It's my favorite. So, but that's the Hobbit. That's Hobbit life. I love Ann Arbor. Me too. Built to last, not replace. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. We would build to last. We would build for generations to come. We would build for beauty. We would build because we love to build. I picture like it's like a Spanish colonial house, but it's a cob building, and it's all archways and tile and natural pools, and it's buildings that are so that to speak to our spirit, that are reflections of our bodies, of what our bodies want. Breathable houses, in indoor outdoor houses, and indoor outdoor community centers, and all of that. Love seeing the divine feminine rising again. Priestesses unite. Exactly. Even though I'm a male, I'm here for the matriarchy. Awesome. You get it. You get it. Exactly. And it's the feminine rising in all of us, right? It's your feminine rising. You so obviously, if I had to guess, I would have guessed you were on the female side of the spectrum, but love that you're male, actually. And that exactly, it's just the natural arising. And it's really, I see it as the body rising. It's embodiment, is that we've been so disembodied. We've been just slaves running this program, and our bodies are being dragged behind as like objects. And so awakening and healing, as we were talking about yesterday, is the same thing, or whenever we were talking about it. And the feminine is the body, is the Gaia, is the embodied, um, the embodied goddess. And uh, so I love it. I love that you're down for the matriarchy. Very natural. If you're bringing in Lemurian Atlantis, please see Keone Hanalea of Hawaiian and Mu culture and fern medicine. Oh, great. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Somebody write down all these great references. Excellent, excellent. Cool. Thank you. Pohala.net. Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Are they on Substack? Maybe not, but I'll definitely check out the website. Okay, so y'all sound like you're down for this. um, how so so how do you feel? This will be a work in progress. I'll post this. I'll post what we have, and we'll keep talking about it. Um, I wanna hear what you have to say to add or subtract from it. Um, and then where do we how do we do this envisioning process, right? Where we're like, there's hovercrafts and there's regional, food and gardens and there's um we're rewilding and that we see it together, right? Do we How do we do I mean, I guess I'll be starting the Substack page, but I wanna know, like, where do you wanna do it? How do you wanna do this? Do we just do we do it in the comments of the post? Do we I wanna just start to capture, and I wanna have a place to brainstorm, and Chris is gonna think through this of, like, I wanted to do this with the kindreds too. It's like she made this beautiful spreadsheet for the kindreds, but I'm like, but we're writing this field guide together. We're writing this trust together. We're envisioning the world together. How do we do it? So Krista's on the job, but I want to hear your thoughts about it too. We're seeing that Substack is this temporary place where a lot of free folks are gathered. We know we need a free network. Um, but I want documents and a place to. I mean, we'll keep talking about it on this live stream, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's where are we representing our collective ideas and how? I'm gonna ask you guys to still think about that. It's not my forte, right? I'm just like, let's do it. I'll do a live stream and collect everybody, but it's like I'm not one to like organize it um and do the operations part of it. Which again, we have Krista to start to build that. But if that's part of your skill, let us know. Or if you see it, right? If you're like, oh, what if it's this? Orion says, yes, this is what I came to Earth to be a part of. Me too. Notion. Notion question mark? Orion says, I work in tech, former nuclear engineer in US Navy systems thinker. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, cool. Um, we gotta talk. Let's talk. Let's have a call or something. Um, Nuclear engineer in US Navy. Geez Louise. So so this by the way, and systems thinking was the one I got behind the most in psychology. We used to have to choose our orientations as if you could choose. But systems was always like, well, of course it's a system. And that we have to shift the system. We have to see from another angle. We have to change the tech, the fundamentals of a system in order for everybody as a part of that system to change. So I wonder, Orion, are you interested in like what are your thoughts about a network? I don't know if you saw. Well, I think you're new here, but there's a guy named Jeremy Helm, who's a friend of mine, who came on to talk about what did we call it? The free and fulfilling internet is the post, the live stream that we did together. And he's working with these guys from Seed Hypermedia, and he knows, he has the email for Ted Nelson, the guy who um, wanted the internet to be a very different code, basically more peer to peer, if I understand correctly, open source. And so the Seed guys are replicating as best they can Ted's vision. Um, Currently, it's more like websites that tie together easily. Um, but they don't have all the things that Substack has, and they don't have money and all the things. So what we need, and so Jeremy's sort of he calls himself my seeing eye nerd. So he sort of translates between the seed guys and me, and this is still an early relationship here. But what I'm saying is like, it's like, who's the one who's going to envision the network and like build the tech and the tech and the code is built from natural law, right? It's built for fulfillment for all, right? So the system is that's the code, right? It goes, what's the most fulfilling option for this person, online, and what's the most fulfilling for all. So as a systems thinker and tech guy, I'm curious what you think about that, especially given what you just wrote. Absolutely. I think we can and should spin up infrastructure for us decentralized. Okay, cool. Hi, Deanna. Great. Hi, Vicky. Um, Cool. Let me know what you think about having a chat and, like, I don't know, what your like, it's almost like I always wanna ask the question of, like, if you what's your, like, dream job, you know? Or what if you had a magic wand, what would you build? And as this free thinker who's a systems thinker and a tech guy and tech engineer, what would you build for us? And what would it look like? And then help us understand it, right? We get it. It's like we know what we want. We know what's true. We know natural law. We know we're all free. We know we're meant to be free and share. What's the code? What does it look like? How do we build it? You know? And that it's sort of like sorry, I don't remember your name. Amanda. It's like we see it in the spiritual or we see it in the code, right? It's like we see it in another realm and then here we are in the 3D and what bridges that gap? Like what? Like that's where I'm like that's where I don't know. I can see it. I can see the 3D world. I know what's true spiritually. I know it's a non-dual place where we are all free and we all can know we're God. We can all heal. That is a direct realization everybody has access to. And as we awaken, which we are massively awakening right now, we need our systems to reflect that. And that's where I don't know. I'm like, well, Substack is where we're building it, but we need a much bigger network than that. So I'll be curious what your thoughts are about that. What an incredible question to ask Orion. Yeah, yeah. I'm imagining it's not the first time he's reflected on it. It's so interesting. Your name is Orion. I met an Orion. I had a date with him in Santa Cruz many years ago now. And not many years. It was like 2021. The last date I was on. um, and I wasn't like I was like I just got to meet this guy. I wasn't really interested, but he worked for NASA, and he was the guy who and he got fired from NASA because well, first of all, he was getting all these like spiritual downloads, and he was acting a little crazy, but he realized that he was working on mRNA research that as a NASA guy, and that it was this code that he realized it was you could basically remote control cells with this technology, this mRNA technology, and he said to his boss like, I can't believe I'm working on this. This is a weapon, and I want you to know like this could be used for ill, and he was promptly fired. Um, Anyway, I was like, I'm sure you're different Orions, but and maybe I'm guessing your name isn't Orion, but anyway, it's just sort of interesting. Um, so yeah, but there's so I guess my thought is there's a lot of folks who I mean myself included, we found ourselves in our field. We're like excellent in our field, and you're working for the Navy, right? You're working for the machine. Me too. I'm successful as a psychologist and in the spiritual world realizing oneness or whatever, which again, everybody can access. But I'm like, "Oh my god, this is a corrupt evil system." And so I really see us gathering here as like again, we are the people at the top of empire. Krista and I were talking about this earlier. They are so I mean, Krista's, very powerful company, and the folks above her are incompetent, completely incompetent. I see that in my field everywhere. And it's like we are the brilliant minds. The brilliant minds see through empire. They don't perpetuate it. They're not the 1%. And we of course we're the ones to rebuild this thing. So anyway, your name made me think of this old Orion, and I'm like, I wonder what he's doing now. And if he could use his powers for good, right? His brilliance for good. He wasn't quite stable enough, certainly not enough to date, but not enough to. It's been many years, so I'm curious. Hi, Becky. Hi, Donald. Yes, yes. Whoever is willing to do the yes man thing to get to the top. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Well, exactly. And then that. what does that breed? It's just people who sold their souls, right? They don't have integrity. They don't, so everybody at the tops of all the pyramids they don't have any integrity. They don't have any skill. They are just flailing about. And now to me, it's like so screamingly obvious. It's like, these are the people who are going to run things. Let's get those, let's get those matriarchs in place because, they're just, it's all lost boys, just like toddlers, just wrecking everything. Playing a Monopoly game. Narcissistic bullies, exactly. And narcissists are um, just wounded, right? It's a developmental disruption at a very early age. So that wound of separation, of not good enough, of unworthiness, of something's wrong with me, I'm bad, and then I'm going to get a persona going, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be the kid that everybody likes, to be accepted by mommy and daddy. And they never get there, and it's all from pain, from wound, from fear. Um, and all of us to some degree, but the ones at the top, man, they are the most lost and the most, um, yeah, they're so disembodied. They're just running. They're running the programs of the. I see demons, thoughts, beliefs, egregores, spells, curses. It's all the same thing. It's an energetic jail. And they're all like in an energetic jail. They're just in this fear loop. It's a loop, a trap, um, where it's greed or whatever else you want to call it, and just going around and around and around, lifetime after lifetime, potentially. Um, but they can wake up, and yeah, as we build over here, the folks on the spectrum, because it's like we're all on the spectrum of narcissism, of woundedness, let's say. And those, not those probably at the 1%, but those below. And I still hold out hope because I know everybody can heal, and I know it's just a story. It's literally just a story. And if I'm like, give me one of these narcissists who's truly so lost. This is why I always aim at Zach Bush, because I'm like, that guy's going to have a nervous breakdown, and he's going to look for somebody. And I've told his friends, like, send him to me, send him to me. Um, he's going to have a nervous breakdown, and in that, then the narcissism is exposed and the wound is exposed. And I'm like, look, here, this is the way. And then the floodwaters can shift. So I'm like, just give me one of these narcissists. I'll turn them around and show them their true face, show them their true nature as oneness. You don't have to keep chasing fulfillment. You're soaking in it. Um, so yeah, this is why it's like healing first for me, because we just get a few of these narcissists, the energy shifts. It's Sarita. Orion says, I could have easily been one. It was just transmuting the pain through healing and shadow work. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Each of us have that narcissism left that is grabbing at life and taking from life, is the wound that's attempting to be held and loved and healed. And as soon as we do it, as soon as we turn our attention to ourselves and embody that and heal that and see through the thoughts, it's game over. We can't run the narcissist program. Yeah. So exactly. We're all one until we're not, until we heal ourselves. Thank you. Faulty default mode network. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Although my view, psychologists use the default mode network view statement all the time. Like, I think this is actually a male belief and is a distortion, which is that the default mode for humans is fear and is narcissism, is selfishness or separate self. I don't see that. I actually think we are taught the separate self, and we're taught fear and separation. That if we look at babies, their default mode is actually fulfill themselves first. So if you take 2-year-olds who are eating ice cream, they'll eat their own ice cream to their satisfaction, but then they want to share. And then they want to share with the ones they want to share with. Like they'll card sort themselves to the other critters that are like them. And so it's the natural abundance, the natural fulfillment. I fill myself, I fill my own cup, because I'm closest to this body, but then the bodies around me, it's like I tasted it tastes so good I want to share. That's actually the natural next step. So the default mode to me is fulfillment and, um, and gifting. But we have a real story that we are broken, that we are selfish, that we are whatever, and I think that has a lot to do with men writing the scripts about things and being subject to patriarchy and the upside downness of everything in general, that, um, that really if it was a matriarchy and the masculine naturally would serve the feminine, but if we have the story that the masculine leads, then it is selfish. It's this like the default mode, which is the default mode of the conditioned society of patriarchy, is this selfish narcissistic thing. But it's only because it's backward. It's not because men are inherently that way or people are inherently that way. It's because we've had it backward. And so, if the natural flow, and you can see this with, there was this cute, I saw this, it was like probably 4-year-olds. There was this TikTok clip I saw of a little girl. There were like 3 or 4-year-olds in a classroom, and like a girl was opening her locker and she bonked the guy, the boy, and the boy just kind of went like, oh, and he like started to cry, and she just grabbed his head and she kissed it, and he just immediately he was just like, and he looked like he had been like kissed by a goddess. He just was like, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. It was like it was just this like the grace of, like, the feminine just, gracing the masculine, and he was healed. Just like that. He didn't have a boo-boo anymore. No more crying. Um, so that's my thought about that. Yes, we have to make it safe for them to come home, but we have to be willing to protect the community. Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's the masculine's role. Make it safe for us to come into our feminine and hold the perimeter for us. Um You'll remember better than I do, but what was the chapter in which we read that beautiful AI, the woman was talking to AI about, oh, it was the one called, oh, I don't know now, it was the Calypso or the, I don't remember. Anyway, there's a I had a conversation with AI about, maybe it was called To Odysseus from Calypso and Penelope or something. I don't know if I called the chapter that, but I had a conversation with AI about the feminine leading and blending together feminine archetypes um, of the Madonna and the whore of Penelope and Calypso in the Odyssey, and how Odysseus is welcomed home from war, and um, and it was this beautiful story that AI told me about, a story of the matriarchy leading. And then there's this woman, Claudia sent me this woman, a clip of a woman talking about that and how the women were always meant to lead, and the men, what was it, hold the perimeter or something like that. And oh, so beautiful. I was cried up on that one too. Hi, Donald. We all are part of it. The story, the healed need to be understanding. Absolutely. 100%. We all, there is, exactly. I totally agree. There's no one actually apart from it. I just have this sort of question mark of like, what happens to those who refuse to heal? I don't know. I don't need to know or predict it, but as a healer, I'm always like, and knowing that everybody can heal, I'm like, I so want to talk. Like, I swear to God, I would love to just like put Elon and I in a room. Do you know what I mean? And he gets to just be, and I help him heal. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a person on planet Earth I wouldn't sit down with, um, and know that if they're, I mean, I don't know. I've run into Netanyahu's energy. I've run into the Catholic Church energy. I've there was no there was no interest there. There was just attack there. But it's all just belief. It's all just shadows. They don't scare me. And um, I want, it's like the 3D person, right? I want to. I know that these men can be turned around. That there is this open possibility, and I also know that there is this sort of like there will be a moment where one of these guys turns, and it will be like a dam in the river, and it just shifts the attention, like the bending, you were talking about. It's like there's already this bending happening, and then there's just this, like, floodwater shift. So I'm open. I am 100% on board for whoever is willing and ready, right? They're suffering enough, they're interested enough. I've put out the call many times on many of my videos, like, "Hey, narcissists, come, call me. Hey, Jordan. Hey, so and so." Doors open, doors open for everybody because exactly we're all part of it, and they're all part of me, right? It's like I know what that is. I know what it is to be that lost, right? It's just lostness. It's my metaphor is sometimes like, well, yesterday I was talking about like we're all part. It's all one home. It's all one being, and when we come into our own body, we feel our own torus field. We feel the connection to the one body. It's very obviously all connected, and then we have these different angles. Um, And because healing just means returning to wholeness, it's an opening process to feel to show for your to see for yourself, to see and feel for yourself the reality of the oneness that you are and the reality of your unique field and what your fulfillment is as a unique being. So spirituality misses the uniqueness, and psychology and medicine and healing misses the oneness. Um, and so and so in my own self, right, has been these abandoned children, these parts that feel separate from the oneness that are, like I was saying yesterday, it's like they're in the backyard, and if we call healing soul retrieval, it's like that part of my soul is in the backyard of the house that we all live in and is facing away from home, like pretending that, he doesn't have a home, pretending that he's, far, far away. And it's like he literally just needs to turn around, come back in the house, which is to say, take that attention, come back inside the body, where the unique body is connected to the one body and sense it. So I see Elon as just this lost boy. He's like he's going to go to Mars, but it's really just the backyard, Elon. Like you can't actually leave. You weren't separate, and you can't separate yourself. Like you're not going to be able to run this program much longer. And let me show you. Let me just show you how you are connected, you are loved, you are held in the womb of creation, in the goddess herself. You have a body, and it's connected to the one body. Coming in from the cold, kind of thing. So, if anybody knows any narcissists that are ready um, for a free set or not a free session, but for a healing session, they're the ones who are going to have to pay. Randolph says, healing works the same way. When I am sufficiently healed, I just want to share that healing opportunity with others freely. Exactly. Exactly. That's where I'm at, right? That's why I'm like, here, take everything. Um, and then I find Miriam and Claudia and you, Randall. Like we all just want to give away what we know because we're not running the fear program that would pretend scarcity is real, um, or that I'm in competition with other healers. That's so crazy to me. So crazy, but that is the healing health and wellness world for sure. But yeah, exactly, it's just like the ice cream. We all just wanna share, and we're there. We're, like, there. We have more than enough for everybody. Obviously, life gives us more than enough. What more do we need? What more, however many more yachts can these people buy or whatever, you know, there will be a point where they're gonna be suffering so much that they wanna heal or realize that they cannot eat their money and they cannot enjoy their money. Yes, Elon is a scared little boy in a grown man's body. No child is born racist or hateful. Exactly. Exactly. I have a poem in my Substack calling home Children of Power. Oh, beautiful. I love that. Children of Power. That's a great phrase. Yeah, Children of Power. And they're usually from these colonizer lines, right? That are that have had the power and the microphones for so long, and they're all so lost. They're so cold and disembodied and um yeah, deeply lost people for generations. And I'm so interested in healing colonizer lines. It's like you don't you are part of us, you know? And I want the colonizers to know that people don't Like in the narcissist, like the people aren't interested in killing you. The people are interested in reintegrating you, in healing you, in holding you, in in yeah, I at least I am. We are, we don't have the same uh those deep wounds that are so violent. We don't we see it as one, right? We see you as I see them as like the weird cousin that's just really lost, but still a cousin. So I love that children of power and their long, these family lines that are oof so distorted. Hi, really. Hi, Alex. Hi, Silver. Okay, cool. Um, this is so beautiful, y'all. Thank you. I'm realizing we're reaching the end of the hour. So we'll let's I'm gonna keep us working on this document on the Free World Trust post because we have a conversation already going there. Um, but I'll put the declaration. I'll put, I can edit that post. So I'll put the declaration. I'll put the current statement as it is. Orion and I are going to talk and maybe integrate his words. And then this weekend is likely to be the weekend. I always go from fulfillment, so I can't guarantee you that we build the new Substack page where we would put this statement as like the main pinned thing and then have places for us to envision the free world together, right? To put all of our ideas for it and what we see. And then anybody subscribing to this collective page, the People's Trust page, would be members, let's say, of this free world trust, this People's Trust. And we'll work together to keep envisioning it and building this network. And then this will be where we link to all the folks giving away their tools, their services, their goods in this gift economy. So it's the new PBS / People's Trust / just Hangout. And then we'll know that we'll jump ship to a new network when Substack goes down, if and when it goes down, or continue to poke at Substack to be the true free network. Like leave the empire and and change their algorithm to be truly free and peer to peer and open source. That's the next step in my view, and we're all doing this together. Can't wait to read your poem. Yes, they are so scared if they lose power, they are going to be reverse colonized. Yeah, exactly. Because the wound projects that onto other people. And it's like, we have no interest. We have no interest. Um, so maybe part of what we say, it's like, it's this statement, right? Like we're claiming the free world. And then it's also a note. Maybe it's a note to the children of power, a note to the titans of empire, whatever we want to call them. Um, that we have no interest, right? We do not want you to be on the guillotine. You don't have to hide in your bunker. We're inviting you to heal. I've joked that it's like, that's like go to like quarantine them in the North Pole for a little while, but it's we need to quarantine them in order to help them heal. But it's an invitation. It's like to be very clear. We're not interested in this. We, the People's Trust, we, this collective of Nova Gaia, are not interested in hurting you. We're interested in healing you. And the door is open, and yeah, yeah. And if they're actually interested, I mean, they will, like, it's not going to work. They're already miserable. It's already falling apart. We just need one. And I also know that men, they work in this in not necessarily a hierarchy, but it's a linear. So it's like they do well to have a leader. So if it's one of these guys that acts as like a Jesus figure, acts as somebody to template off of the alpha, a real alpha who's actually awake and healed, not another just a bigger narcissist. Because the alpha of a wolf pack is the one who has the best eyesight and at the back of the pack and sacrifices themselves the most. Which isn't really a sacrifice. It's just focusing on service to all versus service to self. which women are more naturally wired for. But anyway, so just one of them is shifting over. But yeah, to put an open invitation to the children of power in our statements. Yeah, cool. Okay, y'all. Well, my co-writers, my brothers and sisters, thank you so much. Sarita says probably unlikely that any true narcissist would feel invited or take one up on an offer for healing. I know. And what else are we gonna do? We're gonna keep inviting them because and like I've had a couple narcissists, they didn't last long, call me, right? I've had clients. Um, and and they called when they were really struggling, right? They were losing their family, they were losing whatever. Um, and they didn't, they're really just looking for like how to keep the facade up. And I don't do that. So they stopped calling. But they did, but these two men who I've had over the years, they did a seed was planted. And they actually know, they're not dumb, right? They know what it takes to heal. They know they have to drop the facade. And I told them, I was like, you have to actually live authentically. You actually have to, like, you don't actually like your job. You're just doing it. Like one was a surgeon, and he was a surgeon because it's cool to be a surgeon, right? There's prestige in it. He has no interest in healing people. And I called him on that, right? Um, and he heard it. He actually knows, right? And I said, you're just going to continue to run into more problems. Your wife will eventually leave. Like this is all going to happen if you don't turn this thing around. And I remember it's like a very long pause and a registering of it. And he said, like, you're asking me. He said, like, you're something like you're asking me to really heal, or like, oh, he said something like everything has to change, and I was like, yes, everything has to change. And and then he chose not for it to change, but he knows it, and he's out there in the world, and I'm like, I know I know his family, and I know how this is gonna go, and I'm like, if I were a betting woman, and I am not, I would bet that he calls me again. Maybe not this year, maybe not this month, but it's like, I'm the only one who told him the truth, and it's going to turn to shit. So, in my view, it's like, if I'm them, and I get to the point of no return, and I which is happening, the quickening is happening on this planet, on this earth. If I know, it's like I have to turn somewhere. I either save my soul or die. I save my soul or I lose everything. Might save my soul, right? Suffering and the being so out in space, right? So lost in the backyard that you're so cold, you're so removed that you reach out, you reach your hand out, and I'll be right there. I'll be right there to grab it. So it's not hope. It's just I've watched the process in myself, right? The wound lives her life, her wounded little girl life, and it doesn't work, and it crashes and burns, and it's a house of cards. And then I have to get real with myself, right? What's actually true in my body? It's the same process for them. It's just a bigger house of cards. That's all. But it's all of us live from our wound, build a house of cards, fall. So they're living from, the whole world is built from this house of cards, of narcissistic house of cards. It's falling. And we just need one. We just need one big player, or even moderately big player. And it shifts. So I'll keep my door open. And Orion says, thank you. This is when one becomes three, becomes nine, becomes hundreds, then thousands, then unstoppable. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. We've got exponential growth already. Yes, many just want to stay in the shadows in the proverbial platonic cave. Yep, but make it more comfortable. Exactly. Exactly. It gets really lonely in there though, and like, no, it's not a fun party. This is it. It's like when our exponential group grows, we just have more fun. PS, I'm calling a party. Winter solstice at Point Conception in the Santa Barbara area is the Chumash call it the birthplace of the West. So I'll see y'all there. I'll be there. uh, and who knows? Who knows what we've got at that point? But um, but we keep throwing the better party, and one by one, they come out of the cave. Because here we are out of the cave, and, you know, it gets lonely, dark, cold, and empty, the more they stay in it, so we'll just throw the bigger party and see who comes. Better party. Okay, y'all, thank you so much. Alright, I'm gonna DM you, and we'll be back on Monday. Who knows what we'll be doing, but, we will be a lamp on a hill. Exactly, exactly. This, conception point is it's called Point Conception, but I keep calling it Conception Point, is there's a lighthouse there, and it's a lighthouse, of the West, a lamp on a hill, exactly. We're all lanterns for each other. Yes, excited to chat. Okay, me too. Me too. Okay, thank you all so much, so much. I can feel the vibrancy of this group. It's just fills my soul. So I'm going into the weekend a happy, fulfilled person. Thank you. Miriam, Randolph, Orion, Amber, everybody, Krista. Thank you all. And we'll see you back on Monday. And for anybody who wants healing tools, they're all there. A lot of hours of stuff for you. And free healing, go to the free healing tab on my Substack or my website. Suns to explore. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Love, love, love.